Hello, and we are here with your dose of crypto news. In their fight against the SEC, Binance has scored a very small victory, but still a victory that might delay the SEC proceedings. The judge has actually refused to grant the SEC permission to access Binance.us software. The SEC wanted urgent permission to actually access all of Binance's software for whatever reason they want to find evidence of. But I guess the judge did not see their reason as good enough. So a federal magistrate judge has denied the Securities and Exchange Commission request to gain immediate access to Binance.us's software, asking the regulator to provide more specific requests for discovery. So the SEC was just trying to cast a wide net to discover everything, and the judge was like, no. You have to actually tell me what exactly you are looking for, and that, I think, is something the SEC is going to find really hard to do, because the SEC does not like boundaries. It likes to do whatever the heck it wants to do. But when you actually give it limitations and boundaries, the SEC finds it hard to operate. So they didn't win immediate access to Binance.us's software, and the judge basically is like, I'm not inclined to do this at this time because you're casting too wide of a net, and the judge is exactly right on this. The hearing was held on September 18th to discuss the SEC's motion to compel Binance to hand over detailed information to make executives more viable for depositions. So obviously, the SEC is not going to be too happy about this. But, the SEC has really overextended its arms lately, and it needs a bit of a setback in case of this lawsuit, because Binance.us, I feel like what the SEC is actually doing is that they can't really find that much evidence against Binance.us, so they're casting a wide sprawling net and demanding all the data available that Binance.us has, even if it has nothing to do with a lawsuit. I don't know if it plans to sell it to competition or something, or if it just plans to make these requests so burdensome that Binance.us can't actually operate. But things aren't going so smoothly in the SEC's way. In a hearing, the judge said he wasn't inclined to allow the inspection at this time. Alternatively, he proposed that the SEC should come up with more specific requests for discovery and speak with a broader range of witnesses. So basically, the SEC is having to tone down and have limitations on what it actually wants to do with this data and what data it's actually after. They can't just have all the documents. They can only have documents pertaining to specific things, which I think is a wise decision from the judge. The SEC has repeatedly claimed that it has been struggling to get information from Binance.us since it sued the American arm of the crypto exchange along with its international affiliate Binance Holdings. So the thing is, they've been accusing Binance of non-cooperation, and that's why they want all the documents. But all the documents, as CZ has said, includes things that have nothing to do with the lawsuit or the SEC. They've turned over about 200 pages of documents, but the SEC wants thousands upon thousands, and it's very burdensome. So the judge is making the SEC having to state what exactly are they looking for, and based on that, he's going to determine what documents the SEC can or cannot access, which is the way things should be done. So the SEC has another small setback in what they want to do. They are taking L's in these lawsuits left and right, and eventually I think they're going to pretty much lose all of them because the judges are not finding things in their favor. Another interesting thing is that XRP, Litecoin, and Dogecoin were removed from New York's green list, which means I suppose you can't really buy these coins in New York. That's not from the United States, that's just from New York. Or at least exchanges are going to be encouraged not to list these coins in New York. I find it really interesting. They have 8 coins on the list, and that does actually include Bitcoin, Ether, and PayPal stablecoin. So Bitcoin, Ethereum, I can see Bitcoin. Ether, I don't really see why it's on the green list at all, because it had an ICO, and because it had an ICO, it should actually be kind of a security. It has more business being a security than either XRP, Litecoin, or Dogecoin. And if you're not going to go after Bitcoin, why would you go after Litecoin and Dogecoin? They're both proof of work, and they all kind of work the same way. And I don't think either Litecoin or Dogecoin really has a central person that they can actually go to. I don't think the SEC sued Litecoin or Dogecoin because I don't think they have anyone to sue. And Ripple has actually won a case against the SEC, even though that is up for appeal. So it should definitely be on the green list. So this whole new thing includes new criteria on how digital firms licensed by agencies can list various cryptocurrencies. So in New York, you might not be able to buy XRP, Litecoin, and Dogecoin, but you can buy Bitcoin and Ether and the new PayPal stablecoin. I'm not really sure what criteria they actually use. This doesn't actually make any sense to me because you basically kicked out 2 coins that are proof of work, exactly like Bitcoin, which the SEC would not actually go after, and you kicked out XRP, which is really the only coin that has actually won a lawsuit against the SEC. So not really sure about their motivations for doing this. And the official from the NYDFS said the department makes available on its website a green list that identifies the coins the department has approved for VC entities to custody or list without first establishing an approved coin listing policy or otherwise seeking prior approval. And I'm not really sure if any coin has done that. So I don't think Litecoin and Dogecoin are going to do that. The Litecoin Foundation is most likely dead, and I don't really think the Dogecoin Foundation or whatever is actually going to pursue this. Ripple can probably pursue a license, but that's going to take time. I just feel like this is somewhat of an arbitrary play to remove those 3 coins, and I'm not really sure why they have those other coins available, because once again, you just kind of delisted the only coin that won a lawsuit against the SEC and 2 coins that should be in the same boat as Bitcoin. I do think New York's going to have to revisit this soon because their decision actually doesn't make any choice, and it's sure to anger many crypto pundits. And some are saying it's a political play, and I can't really disagree with them because I can't really see any other reason they would make a decision like this. FTX's estate might actually sue SBF's parents. You know, SBF's parents are enablers, and they're like, no, we're going to pawn them now because we want some of that money back. And I'm sure the parents benefited off of Sam Bankman-Fried's ploys. And of course, it asked the courts to award FTX estate damages, the return of any property given or payment made to the parents. And I think that's the least of anything that should actually be done. I mean, the parents probably got special rewards, special properties, and those should all be either liquidated and returned to FTX or just returned to FTX so they can liquidate and pay the creditors, because the FTX has to pay a lot of creditors. So they're wanting to recover millions of dollars in fraudulently transferred and misappropriated funds. And, it's all within the family. And SBF has been known to give favors to, people that he likes or people that are close to him. And his family would definitely count on that. So the filing, redacted in parts, asked the court to award FTX estate damages, the return of any property given or payment made to the parents by FTX. So any transaction that has to do with FTX to the parents, they would actually claw back. So this is kind of a clawback cause, and it should actually be done. So basically, FTX trading paid over $18.9 million, inclusive of taxes, fees, and costs for Blue Water, to which Bankman and Fried received title. So they might have to give $19 million back, as well as various expenses related to Blue Water totaling more than $90,000. So they're going to have to pay $19 million back. Besides that, the filing also alleged that Bankman's command of tax law and unique understanding of FTX Group's muddled corporate structure allowed him to facilitate the transfer of a cash gift totaling $10 million to himself and Fried, consisting of Almeida Ltd funds. So they might have to give back $29 million. So his parents are not getting off scot-free. They are not able to basically filter the money they took from FTX elsewhere. They might have to give it all back. Now, I'm not really sure if they have the money to give it all back, but if they have to, sell everything they have and go to the poorhouse, I will not be crying tears. Bankman thus knew, or should have known, the perilous financial state of FTX Group, even as he moonlighted as an actor in a Super Bowl commercial and extracted millions of dollars from FTX Group. Both Bankman and Fried are professors at Stanford Law School. The complaint further alleges that Bankman helped FTX insiders dissipate FTX Group funds on donations and helped cover a whistleblower complaint from September 2019, which they probably did. So now the parents are in trouble. They're not in criminal trouble like SBF, but they are in legal trouble, and they could have to pay back over $19 million, stacked on the $10 million, which is $29 million. And the last thing I want to cover today is regarding Twitter, and it might become pay to use to fight the bots. Part of it might also be Elon Musk really desperately trying to make it profitable, but I think this is going to be like the death knell for Twitter if they actually make it behind a paywall, because I think user count will drop like by more than half, if not to like 20-30%. So Elon Musk, we all know the Twitter bot problem has actually gotten a lot worse since Elon Musk came on board. So he's desperate to get rid of it, and none of his genius AI techniques can actually hinder these big bots. So going behind a paywall would actually get people to stop registering many accounts. But the thing is, like, having people pay even a buck for Twitter per month, a lot of people will probably not be using it. So I might just be using something like Patreon to announce my streams. So Musk's proposal for a lower tier of pricing aims to increase the cost of running bots, which currently operate at a fraction of a penny. So the other thing is, like, if Twitter actually implements this, I would be buying some Facebook stock, because I think Threads would actually skyrocket in popularity if Twitter went behind a paywall, because Threads would actually be free. And this would be one reason that Threads can gain market share against Twitter. This could be a game changer in the fight against bot armies. But the thing is, it could also be a game changer for Twitter by making it lose a lot of influence. I think a lot of people wouldn't actually use Twitter if it was behind any kind of paywall. However, the bot problem isn't restricted to X alone. Obviously, scammers have been targeting like YouTube and TikTok, but most of that is just like, people have ignored it for the most part. So this is a strategic move, but it might be a really bad one. But Elon Musk is actually considering putting Twitter behind a paywall just to get rid of bots. I think also he's kind of doing it because he's desperate to make Twitter profitable. So that's the news for today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe, hit that bell notifications button. Thank you and have a nice day.